Kia ora homa. On today's video, I'm going to get my Viewmaster. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the other side of Auckland to go grab a couple of vintage Viewmasters. Now this is a pretty cool deal for me because I did heaps and heaps of research. I'd managed to score a new model Viewmaster. When I say new, I mean 2003. And what we've found from pulling it apart and using it lots and lots, there's a lot of faults in it. Which isn't to say it's not a cool Viewmaster. The novelty's still there, but there's a lot of moving parts in it, and it tends to not focus the pictures of the reels properly, and it's also temperamental about the reels that it fits. So I did heaps and heaps of research, and there were lots of Viewmasters for sale, but at really ridiculous prices. And people are obviously aware that there's some kind of collector's item, and so they were selling them for just the most crazy price you could imagine. I did see one on there for like $700, which is just crazy for a toy that probably retailed brand new for 20. So yeah, it is what it is. But I tried lots of different places, and people gave me lots of different suggestions, and I tried lots of op shops and things like that, and just couldn't find what I was looking for. Couldn't find the reels even. And I was lucky enough that people brought in reels for me that I could use in my Viewmaster to allow people just to have a look through it. But I managed to find a really, really good deal on Facebook Marketplace, and basically it was 60 reels and 2 vintage Viewmasters for $40. So a little bit nervous about the quality of the Viewmasters, but at the end of the day, if the reels are any good, then that means I'm basically saving myself hundreds of dollars, like hundreds of dollars. Because when I did the research just on the reels alone, the cheapest reels I could find were being sold one each for $2, which is crazy as well. So I'm getting 60 reels for $40. So you do the maths. Like if I'd got them for even the cheapest price, and most of those were damaged ones, $2, 60 times 2 is $120. So, you know, I'm getting 2 Viewmasters and 60 reels. So I've got my accomplice in the car with me, and we're heading all the way out to Howick from the North Shore. Now, the next thing I want to explain to you is you might not be sure what a Viewmaster is. So if you're like a 9-year-old, like most of the students are in my class, or even a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, 12-year-old for that matter, you might not be too familiar with a Viewmaster. Some of them were, some of them had never seen it before in their life. Whereas my generation, it's a relatively common thing. You always knew someone that had a Viewmaster, and you got to have a play with it if you didn't have one yourself. Now, a Viewmaster is what's called a stereoscope. That's its technical term. And basically what it is it's a toy that has binocular vision that allows someone to see a 3D image using depth perception of your eyes, or stereopsis. So you get one picture in the reel that's orientated to your left eye, and one picture that's orientated to your right eye in the reel. And when you look through both holes in the stereoscope, it focuses it in such a way that it makes the image appear to be 3-dimensional. So they're a pretty cool toy. You right back there? What's happening? He's thinking. Now, Viewmaster and stereoscopes are the precursor to today, what we would call basically virtual reality. And Viewmaster kind of led the way in quality stereoscopes. Now, there were plenty of versions way before that, back in the 1800s, but Viewmaster kind of made stereoscopes accessible to everyone, particularly to children. When Viewmaster was first normally consist of 2 images, one for each eye, and then you'd have to replace the card and put in a new card. The cool thing about a Viewmaster is it has 14 images that come in sets of 7, so you get 7 images per reel as opposed to just one. So on one reel you could send your loved one 7 images of this amazing landmark that you've been, instead of just one normal stereoscope card that only had one image on it. It might be double-sided, so you might be lucky if you got 2, but 7 is a big jump, so it was pretty innovative for the time. And also shows, because at a World's Fair, if you're not familiar with the World's Fairs are designed to show the most innovative technology of the time. So in 1939, Viewmaster was like the peak of that kind of a technology. Now sadly, in the mid-thousands, I'm talking mid-2000s, stereoscopes and Viewmaster kind of went out of vogue, and they've been replaced by virtual reality. But Viewmaster as a company has tried to keep up with the times, and instead of making the traditional Viewmaster like what we're going to see when I go pick this one up, they've started making virtual reality goggles in the shape of the original Viewmaster. So they're keeping the aesthetic there, but bringing in a new kind of technology. So stick around and I'll show you what we get at the other end, and fingers crossed it's going to be something good. So I am absolutely buzzing right now. These are the 2 Viewmasters, and this one is like a 1970s version, and then this one is like, this one, the man said he was like, he would have been, I don't know, I want conservative guess, like he would have been in his 60s, and he said this is the one that he had as a child. It is amazing, and it's exactly like I said. This is one of Rio de Janeiro Carnival, and it's exactly like I was talking about, how it's like kind of like touristy kind of postcardy ones. And oh my I wish I could show you what was in here, so we'll try and do that a little bit later. But oh man, it's such a smooth, beautiful action. He said that this one worked better than the newer one. When I say newer, I mean it's older than me. Oh, that's no good. Oh yeah, it's a bit sticky, this one, but that's okay. Man, this still works good as well. Holy man, this was a sweet deal. And this, if I'll just show you in this box, it is literally filled almost to the top of reels. I'm kind of a little bit in shock right now. Roy Rogers, holy cow, that's like Cowboys.
This is just ridiculous. This is going to have to be part 1 of a 2-part series, I think. I'm kind of speechless at the moment, because it wasn't what I was expecting at all. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. I knew I was getting a whole bunch of reels, and I know some of them were a little bit damaged, but the Viewmasters alone are worth more than what I paid. I feel like I shortchanged the dude a little bit. I'm going to have to send him a massive thank you. Amazing. Wow. Stick around.
I'll make a part 2 to this, and ka kite for now, and I'll see you in the next video.